You mentioned before you took the LSAT last June, right?
I did take the LSAT last June.
So what was your study process like in the weeks or months leading up to that test date? Were you doing a lot of timed exams, using prep tests? What did it look like?
Yeah, so my process, I took a diagnostic test in, I think, early January, just to see where I was at. I'm like, okay, in all realistic life, I'm a busy college student. I have 18 credits. I was presenting a paper at a conference. And so I was like, I don't have all the time in the world to study for this thing, but I want to do a good job. So I started 6 months in advance and ended up studying for about a composite of 3 of those months, scattered throughout those 6. And I used the PowerScore Bibles religiously, no pun intended. I used a bunch of free things. Khan Academy, I was like, this is a blessing from Jesus. Oh my gosh. Like they let me be part of their beta testing. So before it was widely available, I got to use that and it was amazing. It was basically like having a free LSAT coach online. And so just using all of that, I started doing timed exams probably a month out. I would try to do about 2 a week. And honestly, with my schedule, sometimes I couldn't get through the whole thing, but I wanted to time as much as possible because I knew that time would be a struggle for me, especially in the reading comprehension section, which surprised me because I've always been like a big reader. When I took the SAT or the ACT, that was like the breeze section for me. I never worried about it. But for the LSAT, because it's such dense reading material, I needed to practice timing it out of like, okay, after like 3 minutes, you need to be done with this passage and moving on. So I would sometimes just time individual sections or halves of sections, anything I could do to get myself used to test conditions as close as I could was really a priority for me.
And that's so important, trying to really replicate the actual test day experience, not just doing it in isolation and certainly not just doing 4 individual sections, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Something I saw on another blog, I wish I could remember where it was and I would direct people over to it, but I looked at probably like 200 different sites, so lost track of a couple of them. But one of them had this method of even factoring in that that
Experimental,
test.
right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The experimental section. And it was like, do another section, it's going to be experimental, but then average out like the scores of that one and the other 2 and like factor it in. So basically it would affect, even though you knew that one was going to be your experimental, it would still affect your actual score. So it would make you motivated to put just as much effort into it. And so stuff like that, I think really helped me simulate test conditions as close as possible. I would just like claim a library desk in my city for like 5 hours and not move and just like guard it very protectively. Like, this is my spot. I have to figure out this test because I'm taking it next week and I need to do a good job.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.